Hi, Alvin here, and you are watching episode 72 of the 3-Minute Health Tip. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about post-conflictal lysis B, or phase B of healing. Now, in the science of GNM, and specifically the second biological law, we start to understand that every biological program runs in two phases, provided there's a resolution to the conflict. So this newfound science helps us look at our symptoms differently, that our symptoms are part of this biological program initiated by some sort of unexpected conflict that we subconsciously perceive, and it affects us at the level of the psyche, the brain, and the organ. And we've looked at the past videos, what happens during the conflict active phase of that biological program. Then we also looked at what happens when we resolve that conflict and how we now enter into the healing phase. We talked about the fact that there's two phases in healing. Phase A of healing, where there's a lot of swelling and fluid and pain. And this is also when we tend to get a lot of our symptoms: headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness, fatigue, fevers, discharge, inflammation is often in phase A of healing. And then we enter what's known as the epileptoid crisis, or the epicrisis, which is this temporary counter-regulatory mechanism that puts us back into conflict activity so the body can really flush out that excess fluid in the brain in order to protect the brain. And so during the epicrisis, it can be very challenging depending on what part of the brain is affected. And this is when we start to get high blood pressure, cold shivers. We could also be getting symptoms such as asthma attacks, seizures, fainting, strokes, heart attacks, all occur at the epicrisis. Now, after the epicrisis, once you're able to get over that hump of the epicrisis, first of all, congratulations, because I know how challenging that epicrisis can be for a lot of us. But after the epicrisis, we now enter phase B of healing, or post-conflictal lysis B. And the phase B of healing is also known as the scarification phase. And this is because at the brain level, after that excess fluid is pushed out, there's a scarification that occurs in the part of the brain that was affected by that original impact, by that original conflict. And at the organ level, there's a restoration process that occurs. That organ is now restored back to its natural state. So there's excess remnants or cells that are no longer needed that are going to be eliminated. Phase B of healing, or after the epicrisis, is also known as the urinary phase. This is where that excess fluid, one way to eliminate it is through the urine. So oftentimes after cold shivers, cold sweats, fainting, or if you've ever witnessed somebody have a seizure, they tend to wet themselves or they have to go to the bathroom right away. And that's part of this urinary phase of eliminating that excess fluid. This is also where you can get night sweats, because if there's a lot of cells that need to be eliminated quickly, one of the best ways to eliminate it is going to be through your skin. So you could get some night sweats during this phase, but at an emotional psyche level, you feel relaxed in the phase B of healing. It's almost like you've gone through the worst of it. And so emotionally you relax, the conflict is now resolved. And so there's still some fatigue during this phase, but your appetite starts to return. Now you're craving certain foods and you're trying to rebuild your energy once again. So phase B of healing, it's important to understand really just where you are during the entire biological program in order to minimize your fears about your symptoms, to give you a better understanding of what to expect, and again, to appreciate the fact that your body is working with you naturally in helping you to resolve that unexpected event or conflict shock. And so I hope that this health tip and these last series of videos helps you to better understand where you are when you get the symptoms that you experience, and what you can do to try to just appreciate the phase that you're in, make sure that that conflict is resolved, and stay calm and avoid any panic when it comes to completing the biological program. I want to thank you as always for your attention, and I'll see you at the next episode.